I was thinking something about, well, I guess I was just kind of thinking about the design of my website and how I write code. Um, um, and like, there's a philosophy in design. I can't remember the term for it. It's a silly term, but like there's this term for using the things that you make. Like if you make a, a website or an application, or any sort of tool or resource that you want to give for other people to also use, like my website cybergrunge.net, the plugins I make, and synths I make, and all these different things, like that I also use them myself. Um, but I guess there's, you know, just to make sure that you are making something that you yourself would want to use. But I guess I was thinking about that, in like how there's some drawbacks to that with me, because I like to use things that are like kind of janky and weird and not um, janky is like the main word for it that I was thinking of, is jankiness. Like jankiness is like there's things that have like a weird they have they don't work the way that you would think that they would work. I guess like when it comes to like design, like uh, you have to learn that like you can't do this or that with this program, so you have to like come up with your own way to work around that and make the program do what you want it to do, even though like the person who made the program could have just made it easier for you to be able to do that, but they just didn't. And I don't know, like I like that about programs. Like I think it adds personality to programs and things, and I like it in general with anything, like different art mediums and like stuff like that. Like and like I always like to use my paintbrushes, let them get kind of hard, and and then you know having the hard paintbrush that I didn't wash off, sometimes that can add a little bit of texture to the way that my brush strokes are going. Or like I'll leave my palette with paint on it still, um, and keep using that, because then it kind of gives an off color once I start mixing on it again. And when I really really do that a lot, um, then I'll get colors that I wouldn't think to mix, but then I get something added out of it, I guess a bit of just some you know get an extra color that I wasn't expecting to use, but maybe I end up liking it, maybe I don't. But it's all reversible stuff, like. And anyway, so what I was thinking about, yeah, that is like not a lot of other people like things that way though. And like the prevailing design philosophy of a lot of applications, when it comes to code, when it comes to video game design, when it comes to designing just like design in general, like it's very much beaten into us to like your program should be something that the user doesn't think about using. And I don't like that. Like, I like learning all the intricacies and the little weird jankiness of like GIMP, for example, like or FL Studio, as opposed to other DAWs that I could be using for making music. Like, I like, and I think what it does is, for me, like, it's like learning an instrument, and I don't like learning musical instruments. I think because I just like I was trying to learn them in school, but I did not have a very good time in school. So like learning a musical instrument feels like, reminds me of being in school. Like, um, and I just don't like learning musical instruments. They just feel like homework because of that. But I do like learning to use different programs, and I like learning different painting techniques and sewing and coding and all these other different things that are my instruments that I learn. But I think I have a I have this, I think from my long time when I was very young, very solipsistic and isolated, like I have a tendency, like, to, I just really enjoy like learning the intricacies of a weird system or application, you know because it feels like I'm forming a personal connection with that thing. Mm, Whereas if I'm using something that's well designed, like something that's well designed, like, is pretty much these days, like, by definition, something that you don't notice that you're even using it. Your intentions become, you know what you intend, and you don't notice the process. And I don't know, I just, that always feels, I don't like that. I like, I suppose because I'm just always experimental and like always liking to um, play around with um, the process itself and deconstructing, like, how things are done, to come up with new ways of doing things, or just come up with my own personal way of doing things. And things, programs that are janky allow you to do that. And it is like a personal connection that you form with the thing. Like, I make programs for myself to use, and I leave in some of the jankiness, whatever, because it's like the jankiness is okay. Jank in general, like I said, is just, you can't immediately put your intention in and have it create, like, there's a give and a take between you and the instrument. As much as you demand of it to do your will, it also demands of you to learn about how it works and its process. And so there's a give and take that feels nice to me. I think, like, that also probably stems a lot from just, like I said, my tendency of growing up being very isolated. I don't really like to deal with people very much because they tend to hurt you, or they tend to do things that don't make any sense, or they tend to, um, like just not respond in the way that you think they will. And but programs, applications, instruments, tools, resources, these inanimate objects that I like interacting with, I guess, I might not understand them, but I can learn about them, and they do respond in more consistent ways. And that people are like that too, but I don't know. Like you can't like reverse engineer a person. I mean, certain types of people can, but I can't, because that's part of an autistic sort of thing where like you can't put yourself in the mind of somebody else and kind of understand the logic of what they're doing. But when it comes to inanimate objects, like they're the results are reproducible and pretty consistent, and like very like explicitly like just elucidated, like explicitly. It's very explicit why the flow of causality. Whereas, as I was saying, like about like why I don't like learning instruments, like because of my experience in school, like somebody would not be able to understand me, different things about me, if they didn't know that experience that I had in school with trying to learn musical instruments and then getting frustrated with it and then just being like, I'm never going to learn any musical instruments. So for me, as a black box to somebody else, it's hard. And then with people, like most of the time, people don't even know why they're doing what they're doing, so they can't explain to you like, I'm this way because of this and this and this. And then you can't, because if they could say that, then you could be like, okay, well, then I see the logic that's following, but most people don't. Most people can't even explain to you their own logic, which is understandable. It's hard to find out about yourself why you are the way you are. It's really hard, because you'll go for years and think like, I'm this way because of this. And then you might find out, no, that's not why I'm like that. It's actually this other thing that's why I'm like that. Or it's this combination of these 2 3 things all combined together, that if they weren't combined together in that way, I wouldn't be like this, but they just happen to be. So it gets more complex with the causality there, with conscious like beings. So I don't know. like uh, uh, but with humans, it comes to like, there's always all these emotions, and I can't, when the emotions bubble up with people, I can't deal with it. Like, even if it's good emotions or anything like that, like, it just is so overwhelming to me. I think that was always a thing with me when I was a kid, and as I grew up, and always was a thing that I didn't realize until like a couple years ago, how much I just pick up from other people. And I think when I was working as a cashier, that was the biggest, like, the few times I was working as a cashier, that was like one of the biggest, where I started to realize, oh my God, this is why I'm always such a mess. It's because I'm always picking up on this stuff that other people are putting out there. Because there was this one day when I was working as a cashier, and I was like, this is overwhelming. I'm so overwhelmed. But like, it wasn't even that busy really, but it was just the people that I was interacting with were so people-y. They were so people-y. They were, and it, and I could kind of just feel their life and their entire history packaged into this human being in front of me, and all of the memories and all of the experiences and all of the relationships that they have and have had, and all of it just has created this person standing in front of me. And then as a cashier, I'm supposed to just say, well, here's your total, here's your change, see you later, and just ignore the fact of this amazing thing in front of me that's so complex and oh, I really like, yeah, being a cashier, and also like just people in general. It's so much to take in, and if you let yourself feel it, it's too much. I just went insane because I might not know the particulars of their life and whatnot, but I can feel and see that standing in front of me is this immensely complex thing, conscious being in front of me. Amazing. And I'm supposed to act like I'm not amazed and not just stand in awe of every person that I meet and I see. I just sometimes, you know, I'm just like, oh my god, are you serious? Because like, even thinking with my, okay, I've really gotten out there too much. Um, what was I originally talking about? I think I was talking about, well, okay, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about design and um, jankiness and why I like it, I guess. So, and I always talk like this a lot to myself. So I figured I would share one of the times of me talking like this. I don't know, in case anybody listens to it. Um, but yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else to say. Just yeah. Um, well, with janky programs, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I have this fetishistic, paraphilic, tendency to, gravitate towards these systems and institutions and machines and applications that are just kind of Byzantine and weird. Um, and most people don't. So most people just want the thing to do what it's supposed to do, you know? And I get that. I get that. Oh god, I'm gonna run out of yeah, I'm gonna run out of space on my phone. Damn. Alright, bye.